end, we seek yours and all those who are willing to support us in these efforts. As far as the possible next steps, it is absolutely right to note that we all welcome and appreciate the ceasefire, and that is an important first step, but it is only a first step. In order to have lasting peace in South Asia, Pakistan and India must have a comprehensive dialogue. Can you believe that other than this ceasefire conversation, since the last attack in 2019 and until the latest attack in 2025, India and Pakistan have had no conversation about terrorism, no conversation about Kashmir, and no meaningful conversation. How can two nuclear-armed countries have no dispute resolution mechanism? India refuses to acknowledge the role of the United Nations. India refuses to acknowledge the role of the United Nations Charter. India refuses to acknowledge the United Nations Security Council resolutions. India refuses to abide by international law. India refused Pakistan's proposal for an impartial investigation into the terrorist attack that happened in Bilawal. And today, India still refuses to have a comprehensive, meaningful dialogue with Pakistan. This is untenable. It is not only untenable for Pakistan and India. It is untenable for peace and stability in the region and peace and stability in the globe. Therefore, I urge you, as individual countries, as the OIC, all of whom have relations and positive relations, at least better than ours, with our neighbor India, to prevail on them, that this cannot continue. We must talk peace. We must discuss the unresolved issues of the subcontinent. Of course, that'll include the issue of terrorism, of which we are all a victim. If Pakistan and India were to end finger-pointing and were to commence cooperation to counter terrorism, you can write it down today as a guarantee that if India and Pakistan work together to combat terrorism, you will see a drastic decrease in terrorism in the subcontinent. If India and Pakistan refuse to talk with one another about terrorism, then write it down today. We will see a drastic increase of incidences of terrorism in the subcontinent. As far as what are our next steps, we must build on this ceasefire, have a comprehensive dialogue, include the issue of terrorism, work towards establishing some sort of mutually some sort of mechanism that is mutually endorsed by both India and Pakistan. Pakistan has a laundry list of complaints against India and terrorist attacks that take place in Pakistan, terrorist attacks that take place in Balochistan, terrorist attacks that take place in Pakhtunkhwa. We have evidence that we have presented before the United Nations of Indian involvement in such incidents and Indian proxies in such incidences. We would like to establish such a mechanism so that if I have any complaint, if Pakistan has any complaint, then we should be able to bring our complaint with the proofs to this mechanism, and India and Pakistan should be able to work together to get to the bottom of it. Similarly, I would like that if India has any complaint, any genuine proof, any genuine evidence, then share it with us, share it with this mechanism. Let's work together to combat this menace. As far as the issue of the Indus Water Treaty is concerned, I appreciate the OIC and almost each and every single member that spoke for condemning this issue, for condemning the weaponization of water. We cannot allow this to be the new normal. And while Pakistan is actively engaged in pursuing dialogue and diplomacy with India, if we are to work on new treaties, if we are to have a new dialogue, then surely we have to abide by our old treaties. And the first step to take Pakistan and India back to their position pre this conflict will be for India to start abiding by the Indus Water Treaty, stop violating the Indus Water Treaty, and continue to engage through the mechanisms available to address any of their concerns. Pakistan and India were exchanging letters, let us say, as far as the Indus Water Treaty was concerned before this conflict. At no time did Pakistan say that we're not willing to talk about the Indus Water Treaty. At no time did we reject this a proposal to talk about the Indus Water Treaty. It is India that has violated the Indus Water Treaty, that has violated international law, violated the United Nations Charter, and set a dangerous, dangerous precedent that they must take back. And finally, the issue of Kashmir. I wouldn't dare or dream to compare it to the plight of the people of Palestine. But they too have a right to self-determination. They have a right to justice. It is not for me in Islamabad to decide, nor is it for New Delhi to decide the fate of the people of Kashmir. It is for the people of Kashmir to decide their destiny. And India and Pakistan must work as facilitators for that. If you are to tackle the issue of terrorism, you must address the root causes. If India continues with its policy of suppression, if it continues its policy of collective punishment, if it continues to victimize the people of Kashmir, if it continues to use the wolf whistle of terrorism to demonize an entire population, then unfortunately that environment will create more cannon fodder for terrorists to use tomorrow for their nefarious designs. So these are the three basic agenda items that we are appealing for, that we seek your assistance with, is to convince our neighbor to act like the great power it envisions itself as, and not like a spoilt child who cries wolf. If they have evidence, present that evidence. I lost my mother, Shaheed Mohtarama Benazir Bhutto, to terrorism. I will go and catch those people myself if they're within my territory. But the fact of the matter is that in this case, they are not. And as long as they continue with this politicization, it will frustrate the genuine efforts of Pakistan. It will frustrate the genuine efforts of members of this country who face this menace within their borders. The politicization of terrorism undermines the fight against terrorism. I want to defeat terrorism. The political leadership in Pakistan, the military leadership in Pakistan today, all of us have gone through the fire, if it were, as far as this issue is concerned. On the political front line, the political forces have faced these beasts, have called them out and paid a heavy price. On the military side, our military leadership have faced these beasts on the battlefield. They fought them in South Waziristan. They fought them in North Waziristan. They've come up through this conflict. There is no sympathy in any aspect, in any corner of the Pakistani state for such groups. Pakistan is not the caricature that India would like to present on their media and before the world. And we look forward to working with them, to working with the international community, to address the issue of terrorism, to address the issue of Kashmir, to restore the Indus Water Treaty and establish peace in South Asia and amongst ourselves. I thank you all once again. It truly means a lot to me and my people that we were able to gather here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. This message carries weight, said by you.
Thank you.
Why? You are the chairman of Pakistan People's Party. You are a member of the National Assembly of Pakistan. And above all, you are former foreign minister, and you lead this delegation. That's why I'm saying that this message carry really weight.
Too kind.
My recommendation is that members of the OIC group here have listened very carefully. They should report very faithfully. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ray. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all of it. Thank you.
With that, we come to the end of this point of the agenda. And we move to other business. Minister Mansour, usually on the other business, we usually